Many hit the lakes and rivers this weekend, and now one city official is missing from St. Helens, and that rescue mission has turned into a recovery.
And it's a KGW weather impact alert as we brace for potential record-breaking heat. Rod Hill has the latest in your forecast, plus where you can go to cool off.
And later, President Trump heading to the G7 summit in France after making a deal with Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz. The latest details coming up at 6:23 as your Sunrise at 6 starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Monday. I'm China Green.
And I'm Matthew Herchick. Glad to have you with us. We are in a KGW weather impact alert this morning as we track potential record-breaking heat. It was a very hot weekend. Rod, a little bit cooler this weekend than we anticipated. So how warm is it going to be today?
Well, yesterday it was 94, which is the warmest we've been so far this year in Portland. It was 91 back on Saturday. And today it looks like it ought to be at least in that same wheelhouse, if not a little bit toastier. So I'm giving a temperature range this afternoon of 94 to 98 degrees. The impact alert up. The record in Portland today is 95, so a decent chance we'll break that. Heat exhaustion is a potential again today. Limit heat exposure if you don't do well in these types of conditions. And even if you're outside working and playing and you don't mind the heat, doctors remind you it's really important to keep constantly hydrating, drinking water. Have that with you. All right, Salem Sky Camera, here we go. We have kind of baby blue skies over the state capitol this morning. Current temperature in Portland is setting at 64 degrees. Not perfectly clear out there, but it will be a sunny day once again. So this is the comfortable part of your day, obviously. We'll be 85 degrees at noon, and then we could go as warm as 97. Now, the bad news is yesterday was 94, but it was so dry, the humidity, it only felt like 90. But today the heat index will probably be closer to the actual air temperature. So if all that comes true, you will notice we're in a slightly hotter category this afternoon than 24 hours ago. Back to you.
Thank you, Rod. And with rising temperatures bringing more people out to Oregon lakes and rivers this weekend to cool off, several areas saw that quickly turn dangerous. Yeah,
like in St. Helens, where recovery efforts are underway as crews searched for a city administrator who went into the Columbia River and did not come out. Celine Stevens live along the Columbia River with more about what exactly led up to this. Celine.
Matthew, so that man that went into the Columbia River Saturday night and never resurfaced has been identified as St. Helens longtime city administrator John Walsh. Now, Walsh went underwater around 10:30 p.m. at the St. Helens city docks, according to a press release from the city. Although a search and rescue effort was immediately launched with help from multiple different organizations like the Columbia County Sheriff's Office, U.S. Coast Guard, and the Cowlitz County Sheriff's Office, Walsh was not found. Crews resumed efforts yesterday around 11 a.m., but as of late Sunday afternoon, the search is now being called a recovery mission. The St. Helens City Council held an emergency meeting Sunday to appoint an interim city administrator.
So this is a declaration of emergency to appoint an interim city administrator. So we're going to have a discussion on regarding the appointment of an interim city administrator.
So Finance Director Gloria Butch has been appointed as the interim city administrator for the next 2 weeks. Back to you.
Celine Stevens reporting live this morning. Celine, thank you very much. Meanwhile, a teenager is dead in Lincoln County after a reported drowning. This happened around 6:30 Saturday, about 2 miles upstream of Moonshine Park in Logsden. First responders were called after a witness reportedly saw a swimmer, now identified as 18-year-old Dallas Davis, who was jumping off rocks and struggling to get out of the river. Officials say they recovered Davis's body just after midnight Sunday morning.
Clackamas County opened its overnight shelter at noon Sunday to give people a cool place to escape the heat. It's at Father's Heart Street Ministry on 12th Street in Oregon City. It closes at 7 this morning. People can call 211 for more shelter information.
And if you are trying to beat the heat in the city of Portland, Portland Parks and Rec has splash pads and water play fountains to keep you cool, along with misting stations at more than a dozen city parks. This is a live look at Bill Nato Legacy Fountain at Waterfront Park. And Multnomah County is helping the vulnerable community members beat the heat, opening several shelters.
Yeah, that includes dozens of cooling spaces like libraries, community centers, splash pads, and malls. And according to the county, no additional cooling centers were open as of Sunday morning. In Vancouver, extra cooling centers are open today, including Live Love at Living Hope Church from 1:30 to 7 p.m. and United Methodist Church from 2 to 8 p.m. Pets are welcome if kenneled. C-Tran is also offering free rides to cooling centers. Just tell the driver when you get on board there. And if you're in need of help finding a cool space in the Portland area, you can dial 311 or you can visit this interactive map. We have a link to it on our website, KGW.com.
We have 68 seats in this cafe, and for many people who come in to eat, coming in here is the first time they've been indoors all day.
Yeah, the need on the streets rising along with the temperatures. Portland's Blanche House telling us as the largest meal provider in Oregon, it's struggling to keep up with a recent spike in demand. Blanche House opened a women's shelter in February in Northwest Portland, Bethany's Room, which hit capacity for the first time Friday night.
For the first time in decades, our staff at dinner had to go out and tell the line, hey, starting here, we have to cut you off. We don't have enough food left or time in the day to serve everyone who would like a meal. And that's unheard of for us.
Blanche House serves 3 meals a day, 6 days a week at its cafe on Northwest Gleason Street. Staff members say it's no longer enough. The nonprofit is also bracing for more problems as the city and Multnomah County plan to close shelters or reduce capacity this summer. And stay with KGW for continuing coverage of our weather impact alert and what you need to know to beat the heat. Remember, you can get updated forecasts anytime on KGW.com and the KGW app. And we have an update this morning on a deadly shooting in Portland's Portsmouth neighborhood from Thursday. Police now say they have a suspect in custody. Pharaoh Hart Williams is being charged with second-degree murder for allegedly killing Tyron Butler. Police say Butler was found on the sidewalk at North Fessenden Street and North Haven Avenue. He was taken to the hospital where he later died. The medical examiner later ruled his death a homicide by gunshot wound. Hart Williams was booked into the Multnomah County Detention Center.
Well, burn bans go into effect today in several spots, including the city of Portland, Washington County, and all state forest land. Campfires, fire pits, agriculture burning, and any open burns, even with permits, are banned until further notice. Grills and smokers are fine. You just need to make sure that you get rid of ashes properly. And this comes as nearly half of Oregon counties are now under a drought emergency as state officials warn of dry conditions this summer.
And over in southeast Washington, there are 2 wildfires burning just miles apart. The Twin Sisters fire, that is burning along the Columbia River near Highway 730. That fire has crossed over into Oregon and has burned more than 3,000 acres so far. Walla Walla County Emergency Management issued a level 1 ready evacuation order from Port Kelly to the Oregon border. And north of that, the Juniper Dunes wildfire has reached about 1,000 acres there.
We are taking a live look outside, courtesy of our Vancouver waterfront Skycam. It is a KGW weather impact alert day because we are tracking potential record-breaking heat. Rod, when is the timing for those high temps? When are they expected to be rolling in?
Well, it's a good question, China, because yesterday we had the high temperatures. I mean, it was 88 at noon yesterday, and then we were quickly up into the 90s early afternoon, and I think we were as hot as 94 at 2, and then it actually started to cool off a little bit in some cases. But today it'll be more of a gradual climb, and we'll probably hit the high more like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The reason for the time difference, when you get an east wind, you have a more rapid warm up in the morning, and noon can be surprisingly toasty. Again, yesterday was 88 at noon, but then you don't warm up that much additionally. But with the return to more of a west-northwest wind, again, I have more of a gradual build. 85 at noon, maybe only 84, and then I've got 97 at 5 o'clock. Also with the heat index yesterday, the east wind kept us 4 degrees below what the temperature was. The temperature was 94, but it felt like 90. But today we'll probably feel like about 96, 1 degree cooler. than what the actual air temperature will be at 97. Again, the hottest hour will be that 4 or 5 o'clock hour, I think, today. Here's the reserve golf course from the Explorer Tualatin Valley location, looking out to the west. In Aloha, 62 is your temperature, and sunshine looking the other direction too, off to the east from Persimmon Golf Club out in Gresham. You folks had the gusty east winds yesterday. The wind direction again calming today and flipping more to the west-northwest. So we'll lose that breeze that we had 24 hours ago. 58 in Troutdale right now out there near the gorge, 62 in Forest Grove, 60 degrees in Tigard. Salem, good morning, 67 for you, and 64 degrees down in Albany. It is a dry day. It is a sunny day. Beach temperature is noticeably cooler today because of the west wind. Yesterday was an east wind. We had temperatures in the 80s. Astoria hit 89. Today it's more like about 70. Inland Tillamook could hit 80 today. And then you've got the 90-degree temperatures from Kelso down to Eugene, also in Central Oregon. With the exception of Pilton, mostly 80s out across the east today. And here's our 7-day. This will be the finale of this 3-day run of 90-plus degree heat. 97 would be the hottest of the bunch if we make it today with the impact alert. Tomorrow, all the way back down to 82, which should feel super comfortable. Right now, I have us nearing 90 on Thursday, but otherwise a pretty comfortable, more typical summer week ahead. I've got low 80s this weekend. Of course, Sunday is the first day of summer and also Father's Day. Back to you.